Assassin's Creed Shadows was destined to fail. Not because of what it is, because of what space it was released into. In today's gaming world, hate comes first. Judgment is instant, and honestly, it feels like people were waiting for an excuse to drag this game through the mud. The second it was announced, the moment Ubisoft is attached to anything, a part of the internet just automatically switches to hate mode. And look, I get it. Trust me, I'm not the biggest Ubisoft fan. The track record has not been perfect. They're filled with bugs, their missteps are fucking annoying, the repetitive formulas is really getting to us fans, and it is not hitting like how it used to. But I cannot deny how Ubisoft did shape my childhood. Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, Far Cry 3 and 4. These were some of the first games that made me feel something. The open world really wanted me to explore, learn, and escape. It really did hit different. So let's talk about it. This is gonna be a non-spoiler review, and this is just the first few hours of the game. I haven't finished it yet, or I don't think I've even come close to completing it, but I just wanted to give my first thoughts about the game and what I really felt about it. When people came for Shadows, it just felt like it was another lazy cash grab game. I wanted to take a step back, because what really stood out to me immediately, before I really got into watching the gameplay and the trailers, was that Ubisoft delayed the game. This is not a huge big deal to like normal people, but like if you know Ubisoft, them taking a break or like delaying the game is rare. In an industry that's constantly rushing out titles to meet quarterly reports, they actually held it back. They took the hit, I guess, pushed the release date, and said they wanted to deliver something polished. And that's something I could actually respect. I didn't know I was gonna say that about Ubisoft, but I actually respect it. Because let's be real, they could have dropped this game unfinished and still made a fuck ton of money. We've seen it happen one too many times. Something also that was pretty early with their criticism is the Ghost of Tsushima comments, which honestly I understand, but at the same time, like how different do people expect feudal Japan to look? There's only so many ways you can design shrines, rice fields, temples, samurai armor, and what's really like kind of funny is that the creators of Ghost of Tsushima were actually inspired by Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, and you could see that in the game of Ghost of Tsushima. Look, I'm not saying Shadows is a perfect game. It really isn't. I'm not here to glaze it or anything. This isn't a sponsored video, because why would Ubisoft sponsor a person with like 20 subscribers, an inconsistent schedule for dropping videos, and a 9 to 5? Which is also why I would somewhat expect you guys to believe that this is going to be a no bullshit, no spoiler review of the game. Again, as I said before, this is just my first impressions. I haven't finished the game at all, but I do want to talk about it. Shadows in itself has not revolutionized RPGs. It's not breaking the genre open or redefining open world structures. But what it is, honestly, it's fun. It's stylish. It's got its own personality. You can sneak through the shadows as Naue or cut your way through as a literal tank of a samurai. And in a world where most games are afraid to even try something bold, that's more than enough for me to give it the respect it deserves. It was a huge risk adding two playable characters, especially one that got hate before it even coming out. I do understand Assassin's Creed equals stealth, but also gaming equals fun. And this is fun. Alright, let's talk about some of the flaws, because it's been weird being somewhat nice to Ubisoft for this long. Because yeah, this isn't a perfect game, and I'm not here to pretend otherwise. This is a review of the first couple of hours, and while I've had a blast, there are definitely some things that didn't land for me. First off, the cutscenes. Visually, they look great. The camera work is clean, the transitions are smooth, and some of the cinematics genuinely feel like you're watching a movie. The environment, the lighting, framing, it all works. But the actual acting, it, it's just alright. It's not bad, nor is it amazing. It's just good enough to keep you in it. Naoe's performance, especially early on, is a good example of that. There's a moment in her intro where the scene is clearly meant to be heavy. You can tell the game wants you to feel something, but emotionally, it doesn't quite get there. The visuals, again, are strong, the setup is dramatic, but here, the delivery didn't really pull me. It felt more like I was watching something happen than feeling it happen. But don't get me wrong, she is a total badass. When it comes to combat, her action scenes carry a presence that you can't ignore, and we will definitely talk about that later. Quick side note, by the way, um, the horse gameplay is completely shit in this game. It's not a huge deal. This isn't Red Dead Redemption, but Just had to bring it out here. I think like the horse sucks in this game. Back to the cutscenes. One of her best moments actually came in a training style cutscene, more visual than verbal, and I think that's telling a lot. She shines when the scenes lean into her body language, her movement, and the emotion behind her eyes. When she's not forced to carry a scene with just dialogue, or when she has someone to bounce off of. She comes across way more grounded and believable. And that could be more of a directional issue than the actor itself. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And if you guys had issues with the cutscenes and like the acting, as like a lot of people have, um, there is something that really pulled me in, and it was switching to immersion mode. This game blends Japanese and Portuguese dialogue based on who's speaking, and it just feels more natural. It's not flashy, but it does ground the game a little bit better. Suddenly, the same cutscenes, especially the emotional ones, start to carry a bit more weight. The voices sound like they actually belong in this world, which, makes fucking sense. Japan, Japanese, like it does make more sense. And it's a move I genuinely respect from Ubisoft. They did the same for Mirage with Arabic, which, coming from me, who speaks Arabic and is from the Middle East, I really appreciated that as well. But it just also highlights how the English version just falls flat by comparison. And it's not about the language itself, it's more about, I think, is about the direction and delivery. And it's kind of disappointing because a game with this kind of budget should be able to make every voice track feel just as immersive, no matter the language. So while immersion mode isn't a bonus feature, it is just the right fit for this game. It absolutely enhanced my experience, and if you haven't tried it, give it a go. And this is something that's pretty common in this game. I see, like everything that kind of just doesn't work. It's kind of like a setting for it that makes it work. I'll explain a little bit later, but I mean, again, it's really weird not being hella mean to Ubisoft, and they actually made like a pretty good game. I can't lie. Okay, since we're still on the topic of cutscenes, can we just appreciate how cool this cutscene is that I'm gonna show right now? Like Ubisoft knows how to blend music and stuff like that to make a really cool scene. Just watch this.
Why have we stopped? What are you waiting for? Attack! Attack!
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out that cutscene because, like, watching it for the first time, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, it's pretty cool. Anywho, back to hating real quick. Fuck microtransactions in single player games. Straight up. Like, I think this is gonna be obvious that I was gonna talk about it, but I still have to fucking talk about it. I don't understand why microtransactions still exist in single player games. Like this game already costs £70 or like 100 and something pounds for the digital deluxe edition, and then I'm starting at an in-game store offering XP boosts, cosmetics, and gear that used to be earned through actual gameplay. It's unnecessary. It breaks the immersion, and it just feels like even more of a cash grab in a game that already has like the budget to stand on its own. Like it's not like a small time fucking company struggling to make ends meet. No, this is Ubisoft, $1 billion fucking company, I think. Um, and they still put microtransactions for single player games. Like it doesn't make sense. What makes it even worse, it is not subtle at all. It's right there in the menus, reminding you that your full price experience still has optional extras waiting to be bought. It doesn't ruin the game, but it cheapens the vibe. It's hard to fully commit to a world when the game keeps trying to sell you something on the other side. A studio like Ubisoft should know better, and honestly, players deserve better. I know Assassin's Creed Shadows had a ton of hate regarding like being insensitive to the culture. Like you could destroy like some shrines and climb certain stuff that isn't that respectful to climb. And like I feel like I had to point that out just because it just shows a little bit of cultural insensitivity. That being said, there is a moment during the tea ceremony mission, which was done pretty well. I'm not an expert on Japanese culture at all, but the way the scene was presented just felt right. The pacing, the tone, the quiet tension, even the etiquette, like everything just felt really respectful and intentional. It wasn't gamified or rushed. It gave the moment space to breathe. You could tell the devs actually took time to slowly study the tradition a little bit, and they wanted the players to experience that. And I kind of respect it, despite also like without forgetting the slight cultural sensitivity they had towards certain parts. But there are also certain parts they did nail, like the cutscene. So yeah, even like a small thing like how you bow or how you turn the teacup had weight to it. It made me slow down and pay attention, and that kind of cultural detail does go a long way. And I hope we see more of it throughout the rest of the game. Like I hope I see more of it throughout the rest of the game.
結構なお手前でございました、早急様。
何やつじゃ。
私は伊賀のものじゃ。
The first few hours of the game are all about Naoe. And honestly, I really enjoyed that. She's your first real connection to the world, and the game does not rush you into anything else. You get as much time as you want to feel her out, sneak through villages, climb rooftops, learning her rhythm and learning her limits at the same time. And let me say this now. This is not the old school Assassin's Creed, where if you get caught and there's a dozen guards, you could come out clean by killing all of them. This, you have to be more calculated, especially on higher difficulty. If you get caught, you pay the price. Her health bar is extremely fragile. It takes 2 or 3 hits sometimes to die. So it adds to the tension, and I personally really enjoyed that. I took my time with her section. I explored a lot of the map before finishing the first act. I synced with as many points as I could find. I took down a lot of the castles to the point where I had legendary gear like the first few hours of the game, just because I like really do enjoy like the environment of this game. The stealth with her feels smooth, climbing is slick, it actually feels like the world was built for her. The rooftops, the pathways, you're all meant to explore them, meant to use them. And the animations, they're sharp. When you hold down a circle, she does this little flip off a ledge. It's subtle, but I really think it's clean. Like, she does it so many times, and I always think, like, it's just so, like, I don't know, it's such real fluidity to her movement. I'm glad they pushed the release date because it shows. It really feels how polished it is. And like, I'm giving this game credit where it actually deserves, because nowadays gameplay is built around stealth. Plain and simple. And not stealth as a creative option, stealth because her health bar is paper thin, like I mentioned before. You're not surviving a head-on fight with more than maybe 4 people, especially on higher difficulty. So play it smart, and at the end of the day, it's still the classic Assassin's Creed formula. You hide in a bush, you whistle someone over, stab them, stuff like that. Or you hide in a haystack, whistle, an unsuspecting guard walks past, and you stab them. It's the same formula. It's repetitive sometimes, but it's still all like works. I'll give a little bit of credit because the execution is really clean. Like as repetitive as it does get, the executions are always clean. Like the animations are smooth, the movement feel crisp, and it's satisfying as fuck when you pull off a clean like infiltration to like a bandit's camp, stuff like that. Like it all works. It's just all the same formula we've kind of used to with Assassin's Creed. Like it's nothing, like I mentioned, revolutionary out of this world, but it's just refined and it feels good. They added a few new things, like being able to finally prone, or actually use the shadows to hide. This stuff adds layers, especially on higher difficulty, where enemy sight lines are actually really sharp. Like normally if you hide and jump around rooftops, the enemy won't see you. But in the highest difficulty, that's not the case. But here's the issue. In this game, you can't control the time of day. The game runs on a fixed cycle. 24 minutes of day, 24 minutes of night. So you want to use the shadows, you have to wait for the world to catch up, and that's just really silly because the whole like hide in the dark system was really advertised by Ubisoft. Like, oh, you could use the shadows to hide and stuff, and like it's literally called Assassin's Creed Shadows, but like you only get maybe 30 minutes of gameplay in the shadows every cycle. Like, I don't get it, but like when it works, it works. It just feels like it's like 10 steps forward, 15 steps back. So overall, like Naoe, she's great. Like gameplay wise, she's smooth. Everything just works. Like nothing feels broken with her at all. Like it's not like I don't get that much bugs as well. Like it all just works. It's just like her cutscenes fall short. Her story, like it's a revenge story, and I always enjoy a good revenge story. But like I don't know, it a lot of the times it kind of just falls short, and that could be because of her acting and stuff. Even with switching the game to like the Japanese and Portuguese language, I don't know. It just kind of feels a little bit. It falls a little bit short for me sometimes. But in general, it's really good gameplay wise. Like it's really well polished. It's really well made, and I don't have an issue with it gameplay wise. Then we get the reintroduction of Yasuke as a proper playable character. So you know when I said Naoe's cutscene felt a little bit off, and like it just felt short and like it just felt flat. Yasuke, on the other hand, his acting, his story, it's all told so much better. His scenes are real badass. Like, let me just show you like these two quick examples, and then I'll continue talking about it.
あと一歩でも動いてみろ。命はないぞ。
その言葉そっくり返そう。
勝ち目があると思っておるのか。
前に出よ。さすればわかる。
撃て。
巡り合うたのは偶然ではない。定めだ。共に歩ませてもらえぬか。風の行く先を見たいのだ。
お前の言葉など信じぬ。
されば。
His story is genuinely captivating. His background, his connection to the samurai code, the way he carries himself, it all works. His presence has weight, and he doesn't just show up, he like commands his space. But here's the thing. Once you actually start playing as him in the open world, it becomes really clear that it was not designed with him in mind. Like exploration with him feels so restrictive. He can't climb rooftops, nor scale towers. He can't access many of the sync points, and their franchise that has built its identity around movement and verticality, it feels like a step back. You spend the first like 10 hours, maybe 12 hours, depends how much you explore with Naoe, gliding across rooftops, slipping through tight spaces. Then you get to Yasuke, who's like stuck taking the long way around every time, kinda. Like you can't just like climb over a wall. You have to like run around it. And he's very like he's a slow runner. So it just makes a large chunks of the map feel very like it doesn't feel accessible to him. Stealth isn't part of his game, and that's kind of weird to me in an Assassin's Creed title. He doesn't sneak. He like walks into fights. And while that's fun in its own right, it's hard to ignore how out of place it feels sometimes. Especially like the world is literally called like the game is called Assassin's Creed Shadows, not Assassin's Creed Stomping. Like it just feels a little bit out of sync when he's roaming around the world. But, to be completely honest, once you get him into combat, he does shine. Yasuke is fun. Like, and this is what the whole point of video games are. Like, if it's fun, I'm there, you know? And he is fun to use. When you're tired of crouching and sneaking into camps, switching to him and charging through the front gates is satisfying. You swing heavy, you break guards, you decapitate enemies, kick down doors, and basically wreck everything in your path. It sounds chaotic, and it is, but it genuinely plays great. He's a fucking tank at the end of the day, and in the right missions or the right contracts accepted, he's exactly the energy you want. So while his gameplay doesn't always feel like it fits the Assassin's Creed formula, when it leans into his strength, it does hit. And like I get the criticism, he doesn't move like an assassin, he doesn't sneak, he doesn't climb rooftops, and it's jarring in a game that's literally called Assassin's Creed. But some of the hate around him goes way past gameplay. Like the racist backlash to me is just ridiculous. Like this guy was a real historical figure. He was an African who came into Japan and became one of the most respected warriors. That's not made up. It's literally one of the most interesting stories you could build a character around. So yeah, you could question the design all you want, but if you're mad just because he's like black, you're exposing yourself and not the game. So check yourself. Visually, the game looks absolutely stunning. Like, the environment is gorgeous. The lighting, the details, the atmosphere, it all looks incredible. Like, there are moments where I'd literally just stop and look around because of how well they captured the feel of feudal Japan. The visuals are top tier. Like, I would give the visuals genuinely like a 9 out of 10. It's done really well. The environmental storytelling, it's there. Again, nothing out of like nothing revolutionary out of this world. Like when you walk around towns and stuff like that, like there's life to it. It's nothing like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, but that's two different games. Um, yeah, overall, like visually speaking, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And there's a lot of stuff you could do in the world, but it starts to feel very repetitive very fast. Naoe has this meditation mechanic where you sit down and you do these like QTEs and you hit them in the right spot, and they unlock flashbacks that give you pieces of her history. And I actually did enjoy that. It's subtle. It gives her a little bit more personality. Like it just helps her a little bit because, like I said, like she feels pretty dull sometimes. So these flashbacks helped. Yasuke has his own side activities. He has like a bow and arrow challenges, weapon training spots, which are all fine. They don't really involve the past like Naoe, but they all work fine. Naoe also has this thing where you can draw animals, and then you could put them into like the hideout, which I will talk about again later. And like they're all visually cool. They put it like a nice like breather, like you want to take a break from sneaking or like being a tank. You could just roam around the world, find animals to draw, do meditation spots, do the bow and arrow challenges. Like it's a good way to like take a break, but like it does get very repetitive very quick. The best content in the open world, in my opinion, is the castle infiltrations. You take out groups of samurais, like these like high elite samurais. There's sometimes two or four of them, and when you kill them, you get to unlock a legendary chest, which gives you legendary gear, and that actually like it feels worth it. But like the West, like the scroll collecting, praying at the shrines, like they're all very boring. But unfortunately, like you kind of have to do them to gain knowledge points, and you need the knowledge points to unlock certain skills. So it just feels the game kind of forces you into this like repetitive, boring, going around the map looking for question marks, picking up scrolls and doing this stuff. But like you do need it to unlock the skills, like I said. Um, but yeah, like it all just starts to feel like a filler. So that's where kind of like the game just slows down. But again, there's people who played I've known who played Assassin's Creed Valhalla and they played it for hours and they loved it. So again, I feel it's kind of falls into personal preference. For me, I don't mind it. Like it's not the worst thing in the world, especially because I love the environment. Like the game is really beautiful. So like I can look past the filler shit and just enjoy the beauty of the game. And that being said, let's not pretend other open world games aren't guilty of the same thing. Like how many times in Ghost of Tsushima, for example, where we chasing foxes, following yellow birds, doing the like hot springs. The bamboo ones, I'll let aside. The bamboo ones were always satisfying to do, but like going to hot springs and following the foxes, like it does all. It's a prevalent thing in RPGs. The difference is just how long it takes for your engagement to start like rolling your eyes to it and like getting bored of it. That's what I think. Small things I do want to mention: the new hideout feature. It's cool. I mean, it's again like I keep saying, this game hasn't done anything revolutionary. Like it's a cool little thing to do. Um, One of the coolest things you can do though is when you pet animals, you actually get to put them in your hideouts. So you get to pet a dog, for example, and then you put it in your hideout, and you can put like as much, as many dogs as you want. I don't think it's like unlimited, but like it is a high count of dogs you can put. Um, One of the things I really appreciated is holding X to follow an NPC rather than just like pushing your analog stick really slowly and following them. I get to hold X and kind of just like it automatically follows them, so I appreciate that a lot. Like that is a genuine, like all games should have that type of shit. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I mean, it wasn't a deep dive into the game. I'm about like 14, 15 hours into the game, which for Assassin's Creed nowadays is like not even halfway through it. And overall, I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having a good time exploring, assassinating, killing. Like it all is just fun for me. And like I'm very just like it's super basic for me. If I'm having fun, I like the game. So I'm having fun. To rank these in comparison to the latest Assassin's Creed, which is Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, maybe Mirage. I don't want to count Mirage because Mirage was kind of like them trying to go back to the old ways, and then it kind of like it did okay. But if you enjoyed Odyssey like I did, because I love playing Odyssey, then you will enjoy this game because Odyssey perfected the RPG, and then they dropped Valhalla, which Valhalla they just made it 50 times bigger. So they put a bunch of everything, and it just felt like nothing. So I would rank it as Odyssey, Shadows, Valhalla. Overall, I rank this game. Sometimes the game feels like a 7, and sometimes the game feels like an 8 out of 10. So I would say like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 overall. But for enjoyment wise, I'm having fun with it. I might do another video when I finish the game. I might not. I don't really know. Would I recommend you to buy the game? I would have personally like really liked if the game was priced the same as Mirage's price. That would have been perfect. But for £70 for what you're getting, like if you can afford to splurge the £70 on the game, I say why not? Like you're gonna have fun, you're gonna enjoy it. If you want to wait for a sale, which would probably happen in like a year or something, then yeah, wait for the sale, and then the game will like it'll be even more worth it within the sale. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this new type of video. It's not like my video essays or anything. It's kind of like a review. It's slightly shorter, but yeah. So tell me what you guys think about the game in the comments. If you guys liked it, if you hated it, if you think it's okay, if you think my opinion was completely horrible, let me know. Yeah, thanks guys.